Hello students, very good afternoon to all of you. Today I am going to explain you the very first chapter of your supplementary reader, that is The Lost Child, written by Mulk Raj Anand. As the name suggests, so this chapter is about a small child who gets lost in the fair. And in this chapter, the author Mulk Raj Anand has beautifully described the emotions or the feeling of a child when he is separated from his parents, and how his feelings changed when he is separated, and how he was feeling when he was going to the fair with his parents. So when he was going to the fair, he was very excited and very happy, and he was getting attracted towards many things, and he wanted his parents to buy those things for him. But as he got lost, his feelings completely changed. Now he was crying bitterly, and he wanted to be with his parents now. So this happens with every child. If you get separated from your parents, you just only long for your parents. Or the young children, they always they know that their real happiness lies in being with their parents. So this child also, when he gets lost in the fair, he was tempted with various things so that he could stop, or he may stop crying, but he was not tempted by anything, and that time he wanted his parents only. He wanted to be with his parents. So this is a very realistic story, which is for which Mulk Raj Anand is famous for writing such stories on real life instances. So this is what in the story, it is a brief introduction of the story which I have given to you. Now before beginning the story, I am going to tell you or give you a brief introduction of this author Mulk Raj Anand. The author Mulk Raj Anand was an Indian writer in English who was born on 12th December 1905 at Peshawar in India, but now it is the part of Pakistan, and he died on 28th September 2004 at Jahangir Hospital in Pune. He is a prominent Indian author of novels, short stories, and critical essays in English, and is also known for his realistic and sympathetic portrayal of the poor in India. So this was about the author. So now let's start with the chapter. The chapter begins with this, that it was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity for human beings, the people. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So this chapter begins with this, that it is the festival of springs now, spring season, as the winter has just ended. So the people in large crowds have come out of their houses, and they are moving in the narrow lanes and alleys. Emerged a gaily clad of humanity means all the lanes were crowded with the people who were moving to the fair. The fair had been set up in the village, and the people, they were moving, a large crowd of people was moving towards the fair. Some people among them, they walked, some people rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. And this boy, he accompanied his father on foot. His parents were moving to the fair on foot, and this little boy ran between his father's legs, and he was brimming over with life and laughter means he was full of energy, and he was very excited. Laughter means he was very excited and very happy to see the beautiful things or attractive things on the way. Then further, in the next paragraph, the narrator says that the story that "Come, child, come" called his parents, as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. Lagged behind means he was left behind, and fascinated means attracted. And lined the way means that was set up along the way, that were there on the way. As you go to the fair, in the beginning only there are many shops, or the beginning only, the seeing the crowd, you are attracted towards that. So in these lines the narrator is just saying that the child was attracted to the toys which were displayed on the various stalls. As he would be left behind, his parents called him to come with them so that he may not get lost. Then further it is said that he hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering. Lingering means lasting for a long time on the receding. Receding means the toys which were left behind as he walked ahead. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart. Suppress the desire means now he could not control himself, and he expressed the desire of his heart to purchase the things which he liked, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. So it is the habit of all the children. They know that their parents would not buy everything that they demanded for. So in the same manner, this child also, when he could not control his desire or control his desire in the heart, he just, though he knew that his father would stare at him, and that means the staring of his father means the refusal of purchasing that or fulfilling his demand. So in this paragraph the narrator says that the child was obedient and walked towards them on being called. So whenever he was left behind, so his parents used to call him, and like an obedient child he used to walk towards them, but his eyes would keep on looking at the toys that he wanted, and it is the nature of all the small children. Then further the author says that as he reached them, he couldn't control his desire to buy a toy, and he knew, he was familiar to the reaction that they would give, and he knew that they would stare him, indicating denial to buy him the toy. The child knew the emotionless way in which they would stare at him. Then further the narrator says, now these are the lines from the child. I want that toy, he pleaded, he demanded that. The child was unable to control his desire any longer. He said that he wanted to buy the toy. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. Tyrant means a cruel and oppressive ruler is called a tyrant. So these lines say that the father's eye grew red with anger, and he looked at the child just like a cruel ruler who was trying to oppress him when he demanded for the thing, because he was unable to control his desire, and he demanded from his father that he wanted a toy, and he asked him to buy that toy for him. But his father, like a cruel ruler, refused to get that. Then further it is said that his mother melted by the free spirit of the day. Free spirit of the day means they were very happy as they were going to the fair. So she was melted. They was tender, and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you." So this is the tendency of all the mothers, that they just get melted when their children demand anything from her or from their parents. Then mother is the one who just gets melt very fast, and she tries to fulfill, or she press her husband or the child's father to buy that thing for the child. So in the same manner, in this story also, his mother got melted by the free spirit of the day, means because of the exciting day, and she knew that his demand could not be fulfilled, so she just gave her finger to the child to hold and guided him to a place, and she asked him to see what was in front of him in order to distract his attention from the toy. Now further it is said that it was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold, as it swept across miles and miles of even land. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze. Gaze means continuously he was staring at them, till one of them would still its wing and rest, and he would try to catch it, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air. When he had almost caught it in his hands, then his mother gave a cautionary call, "Come, child, come to the onto the footpath." So here now, what is the narrator describing? The writer is saying that there was a vast field full of bright yellow colored mustard flowers, as that was the spring season. The mustard was growing in the fields. So, and the flowers, as you all know, the mustard flowers are yellow in color. So the whole field looked like a was spread with a bright yellow color, and they seemed like flowing streams of gold and were widespread all through the field. Then further, the narrator describes the beautiful scenery, the beautiful nature, that a group of dragonflies, black bees and butterflies, they buzzed around, sucking the nectar from the flowers, and then the child looked at them. As it happens, it is the story of a common child, that the child looked at all those flies, and as they flew around, but when one of the butterflies sat somewhere, he tried to catch them, or any other fly which was flying. As soon as it sat down, the child ran towards that fly to catch it, but the tiny creature would fly away the next instant. And it happens that the fly do not wait. As they see the somebody approaching them, in order to save their life, they just fly away from there. Then after that, the mother called out to him as they started walking down the footpath. The mother gives a cautionary call, calling him to accompany them, so that the child may not be left behind and get lost. Then further, the writer says he ran towards his parents gaily. Gaily means happily, and walked abreast. Abreast means side by side and facing the same way. For a while, being however soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy sunshine. So very beautifully the author, the narrator, has described the nature and the scenery also. Now he is saying the child ran towards his parents as his mother called him out to accompany them. Then he walked next to them, but after few steps he stopped to see the insects who were coming out of the soil. Once again the child was left behind in looking those things. Then again it is said that, "Now come, child, come," his parents called from the shade of a grove. Grove is a small wood or a group of trees, where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well, a corner of the well. He ran towards them. So in these lines the narrator says that the parents again called him as the child was left behind. Now they sat next to the well under the shady trees just to rest for a while, as they had got tired of walking. The child then once again ran and joined his parents. Then further it is said that a shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove." The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. So what does this line say? These lines say that as the child entered the shady forested area, he was welcomed by a shower of flowers. There were many flowers growing in that forest area. And he forgot his parents again and started collecting the petals that had fallen on the ground. Just then he heard the cooing of doves. Doves, you all know, are the white colored birds, and the child was excited to see them. He started chasing the birds, and in this process, the petals fell from his hands. The petals which he had gathered from the ground just fell from his hand as he was trying to catch the bird. These lines show that the child got attracted towards the next thing, and he forgot what he had been doing earlier. Then further the narrator says, now in the next lines again it says that, "Come, child, come," they called to the child. Now the parents are calling the child. The small boy, who had now gone running in wild capers. Capers are playful skipping movement. He was running in wild capers, he was jumping, hopping, round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took a narrow winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. So these lines say that the parents called the child who was running and playing around a banyan tree, and they lifted him now in their arms and walked down a narrow twisting lanes. Winding is twisting lane through which they crossed the mustard fields and reached the fair. Then further the narrator says, as they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs. Throngs are huge crowds. The other footpaths were also filled with people, large crowd of people. Converging means converging to the whirlpool. Converging means gathering to the whirlpool of fair. That means a group of people, many people in large number, they were moving to the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So now he was attracted by the whole lot of crowd and many things in the fair now as he entered the fair. So in these lines the narrator says that as they were about to reach the fair, the child saw huge crowd of people walking from all directions towards the fair, and the dense crowd scared him and he stepped back for a while, but the next moment he got attracted to the mind-boggling crowd of humanity. So it happens that we are usually scared of moving in the large crowd, large hustle and bustle. We don't like to go in such a big crowd. So the child was first scared, but afterwards he got attracted towards the large crowd of people moving to the fair. Then further he says, a sweetmeat seller. A sweetmeat seller hogged gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round its counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves